Hello and welcome to British Dodgeball TV. I'm here with, all the way from Austria, from Vienna.
Si. Hello, it's Daniel Henshaw.
It's Daniel Henshaw of Dodgeball Ninjas, Welsh Dodgeball, Coventry Silverbacks, Coventry University.
Ben and Dan commentators.
Ben and Dan commentators on Instagram. I'm the other commentator, Jonathan Wilkie. We're here with Leamington Spartans 1s versus Derby Phantoms 1s in the men's Super League. It's our second game for you today. Looking across the Phantoms team, we have Dom Smith, Simon Tapping, Ryan Ellis, Ben Paddock, Robbie Winters and Tom Bell. On the Spartans team, we have Scotty Whitelaw, Ryan Neal, Dan Doherty, Alex Harrison, John T. Bird and Reese Woodgate. 3 balls, 2 Phantoms. Simon Tapping. Oh, there's a double hit there. Oh no. Yep, a double hit called onto Tom Bell. And a hit there from John T. Bird on Simon Tapping. Simon Tapping looks like he's interfering with the ball there.
Pause of time here. One of the line referees is calling that it bounced and he had a good view. The other refs are saying the second one hit. So
yeah, so fairly confident from the middle refs calling that a double hit. The ball ricocheted from Ben Paddock onto Tom Bell. Sam Warble and Rob Clark are centre refs, with the rest of Storm 2s helping out today. And then otherwise, no hits onto the Spartans side, so it would be 6 apiece. Not 6 apiece, sorry. We'd have 6 left on the Spartans side. Simon Tapping was hit out, and 3 left on the Derby Phantom side.
I think they're probably going to call it a hit just based on the fact that everyone other than the one line ref called a hit on it there. And I think it was, if I'm going to have to hazard a guess.
It looked it from our perspective. Obviously, we only have one of many. So they're just waiting. Big decision early on to the game. I feel like this might... Teams don't really want to ruin the flow of the game so early on.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we're having like a 5-minute break to discuss this.
But anyway, the refs will come to a decision. Centre ref communicating with Ryan Neal, the captain of Leamington Spartans. So it has been called a double hit, and then there's either a ball retriever error, which would turn into a turnover. The conversation is still going on. Tapping, arguing his case.
Neely will have to be careful here because that is his manager on the international stage he's arguing with.
So Neely called out there. Spartans coming forward with 5 balls. Robbie Winters hit with 3 of the 5. So a good start here from Spartans, quite clinical. 3 back. Big arm from Scotty Whitelaw as Ryan Ellis drops his ball to take the catch, straight off the shoulder and off into the stands. Tough one to catch there, leaving Dom Smith on his own.
Yeah, bit of a tall order here for Dom Smith. Oh, no.
The block
Doherty
from Doherty.
Trying to go for a pass, blocks it straight into his teammate. Teammate not quite ready.
Casual block there from Harrison as Dom Smith tries the quick 2-step. Tough situation here, as you said, Dan. There's not a lot a player can do. He went for the catch, but well placed by Woodgate on the outsides of his body. Very clinical start. So the 2-ball, the double hit, giving Spartans a lot of momentum going into that and kind of killing a lot of the Derby momentum. But going into the second set.
Oh, come on, why are you placing it there? Neely's going to take that all day.
So one line ref thought Neely had lined in the middle there. Sorry, Neil had lined in the middle there. However, the other line ref corrected him, and he makes the slow tombstone catch. John T goes down. Woodgate manages to make the hit as Tapping goes down. Woodgate goes down. The ball pops up. For a couple of first two sets, you've had a real treat today.
I enjoyed that a lot. Ooh, yeah, good honesty there. It was a hit. It was very close. So, Dom Smith left on his own again, and I think, yep, has to go for the catch, forced into that position. Clinical, brutal hits from Spartans, and Phantoms need an answer to the question that Spartans are posing them, and they haven't offered one so far. They've got a lot to adapt in their play style if they're going to come back on this. I think they've got to slow it down, just sort of chill a little bit. They've lost the chaos a few times. Bell looking for Woodgate, doesn't quite get him. Big arm from Doherty. But no one touched. Nice safe play, and it looks like Phantoms are, well, slowing it down, like suggested. Lovely block there from John T. Balls just being thrown at balls at this point. Testing the man on his block. Pushing back a bit. Ooh, that was an interesting release there by Neely. But yeah, Doherty does not pull the block off there and tap into the very good running counter on him. Lovely block there from tapping. Oh, and Ellis with a beautiful shot there. I'm quite surprised that Harrison was caught out in a situation like that. But then Paddock and tapping both release when they really don't need to. And they're both taken out. All of a sudden, what was the first set that Phantoms were taking the advantage has, in a second, turned into another Spartans-dominated set. There are a few fans of Spartans amongst me who seem very happy with that. John T with the cross court. Oh, and Dom Smith is looking for that catch. He's not going to be giving it though. Oof. And good eyes by Whitelaw there. Neely not paying full attention, but it's just about enough to not die. And Whitelaw is just so fast. He did a great job, but Smith got out of the way, and yeah. 1 for 1 there with Neely up on the revenge. And I think that Phantoms have 5 balls here now, so Smith's gonna have a bit of work to do. I would suggest he goes quickly while they haven't got anyone to revenge with. Oh, beautiful shot from Woodgate there. That was stunning.
So another clinical set there for Spartans. We apologise about the score. We're just getting it set fixed. The score is currently 6-0 to Leamington Spartans. Timeout has been called by Derby Phantoms. It's a tough one because Spartans have come out of the blocks kind of racing hard there. Phantoms kind of falling short in some of those close trades that have been occurring. We've seen, when it comes to it, a lot of players leaving court in the space of a couple of seconds, and then the players left on court, because both teams are so drilled, Spartans in this case so drilled, that Phantoms have had a really tough time to be able to bring back any kind of real momentum or get any good hits when they're kind of 3 players down.
Yeah, they've put themselves into positions where they have to start taking risks and trying to seek those catches, and it's not a position you want to be in. It's not advantageous. But one thing in the last set was a glimmer of hope for Phantoms, because up until, I would say, the middle of that last set, it was all Spartans in every set so far. But then all of a sudden, Phantoms were up for the first time, and then both of their wingers released incredibly unnecessarily and were both hit out on revenges, and they went from a 5-3 benefit, I think, to being a player down in a split second. So yeah, they need to take the lesson from that last set.
So the timeout there called really to kind of regroup and kill the momentum. They brought on Dom Holmes there. Dom Holmes to be brought on for Ben Paddock, and Ryan Ellis has been subbed off for Owen Reed. Owen Reed, Dom Holmes, and Simon Tapping now coming forward with 3. Ryan Neal hit out on the quick start. Post throw there by John T. Bird hitting out Owen Reed, but Dom Holmes replies with a great revenge shot on the winger. Alex Harrison searching for the shoes of Winters. So we fixed scoreboard for you. As you can see, it's 6-0 to Leamington Spartans. Blocked there by Woodgate.
Okay, and Phantoms are up again. What can they do with this?
Block there by Holmes on Whitelaw. As he switches out with Doherty for that wing. Phantoms coming forward with 3 balls now. Free throw there from Woodgate. Easy block from Bell. Dom Holmes tries again with that revenge. Doesn't manage to make the hit.
Oh, and Harrison almost left his hands trailing there. It was a catchable throw, but his body movement was not leaving him in a good position for catches.
Yeah, 1 for 1 there on Woodgate and Holmes. Holmes slipped there on the previous play. Normally the courts here at St George's are quite favourable.
Phantoms still have their 1-player advantage. Oh, wow. And you've got to say, Winters did phenomenally well there to bring that back.
Yeah, from what was, I assume, a mistake, as he released his ball at Whitelaw, but it looks like he went to fake and the ball just fell out of his hand. The ball was still valid, but then the punish, so Harrison left in on his own after some trades. No 1 for 1 there. Harrison fronts up, but Tapping holds for 4.
Good call there from Tapping. Harrison was looking to introduce a little bit of chaos there. He wanted them to throw at him.
3 blocks there by Harrison. And Holmes makes the catch in the neutral zone. Not Holmes, sorry, that's Dom Smith, sorry. Makes the catch in the neutral zone as he stands his ground. Excellent catch by Smith.
Sometimes the wrong decisions just work out, don't they?
Sometimes they do, but are they the wrong decision if they work?
I guess that's 2 different philosophies of the game then, isn't it?
So a set there to Phantoms after a bit of chaos for them coming out favourably. We have a substitution here on the side of Spartans. Tom Ovenden on for Dan Doherty, taking over the middle ball running job, I want to say. Spartans now with 3. Birds with a lovely shot on Reed, who's not managed to have a proper opportunity in this game, being post thrown a few, maybe about a minute into the first set and being the first out of this set.
That was a phenomenal shot from Tom Bell.
Yeah, excellent from Bell, but Whitelaw responds onto Tapping. Nearly also being the first out for Spartans for the last 2 sets.
Yeah, he's not really got his head in the game so far, has he?
Great catch there by Woodgate as he makes the catch off the pre-throw. Doesn't manage to make the pre-throw, sorry. Makes the catch off the 2-ball reply and is hit out by the second one. Smith hit out by that 2-ball attack from Spartans. No hit there onto Holmes. Goes high onto Ovenden, doesn't manage to make the hit. No outs on any of the plays of that phase.
Wow! Tom Ovenden! That was sensational.
Excellent play from Tom Ovenden. With the catch from Winters.
Yeah, that's why you don't throw at a player when you're up at that stage of a game and you're on your own.
Block there called by onto Reed as he has 2 balls. And they come forward with the 2 and they make the hit. Once again, an excellent kind of phase of 5 seconds that come up in Spartans' favour with Holmes and Winters after the catch. Winters is hit out by Ovenden as he leaps into the air, not managing to make the 1-for-1. Holmes hit out just a second earlier. Seems to be some of these sets are just coming down to phases of kind of 5 seconds where Spartans are winning those phases with a couple of players. And Phantoms aren't managing to just keep the numbers on the court.
Wow, beautiful shot from Harrison there, taking Smith out.
Not often we see Robbie Winters losing the middle ball in these games. One of the most prolific middle runners in the Men's Super League. But Tom Ovenden seems to have his number.
And 2 releases on the left wing of Phantoms from Spartans, 2 hits.
Yeah, some excellent throws there.
Not that one though.
Barnes coming now with 3.
Ooh, and that's a headshot he's going to remember, or maybe not, depending on how hard it was.
And the catch there from Whitelaw after an excellent single.
And, you know, Phantoms were in control somewhat at the start of this game, but they look like they've really grown into it now, and they do look quite an immovable force at the moment.
I think you mean Spartans there, but the ricochet catch off of Whitelaw, bringing back in Smith, the 2 DOMs left on.
Wait, what did I say?
You said Phantoms.
Oh, yeah, I meant Spartans, yeah. Okay.
Trade there, but not being successful from Neely, so Smith making the hit.
Was it not a hit?
Not on Smith, sorry. So okay. Smith stays in. Smith stays in. Holmes against 4 Spartans.
Drop catch.
Excellent block there. Goes for kind of the sidearm. The ball pops up, but not able to be caught. Smith taking his out even before looking at the up ball. Tom Holmes with a lot to do here, but he got Whitelaw out and made the catch off of it, so see what he can do as the last player left in. Goes for the...
Sometimes you just gotta put
and a line fault called. He goes behind the back.
The line fault wasn't the pizzazz, it was the behind the back, and why not?
Yeah, an excellent, as we've said a couple of times, an excellent start here from Spartans. Derby with a massive hill to climb at the moment. They have done it before. Phantoms are a great team of excellent mix of players and all very clinical. It's just those fine margins that we see between 2 teams of this caliber.
Yeah, the things you told me about Phantoms, about sort of their style of play, their clinicism, the way that they look to find the chinks in the opponent's armor. I haven't seen that here. I haven't seen them waiting for Spartans to expose themselves. It's been very much a matter of Phantoms making a few mistakes and being punished.
Yeah, so the conversation that me and Dan had before was just how Phantoms have been so successful in kind of in the games that they play, really, what makes them such a good team. And they're such a well-drilled side. Every individual kind of knows what they need to do in the right moment. And I think what's letting them down currently is that they're just not being as clinical as they have been in past games. Potentially because we had the English Mixed League yesterday. Catch there off of the back of Ovenden. At the English Mixed League yesterday, Spartans, none of the Spartans men played. Out of this starting 8 on Phantoms, only all but 2 played. So you could say that because they had 3 games of dodgeball yesterday, they might be slightly sorer, slightly more tired, sorry.
That is absolutely going to make a difference.
But when you come into games that on paper are this close, you have to look at those fine margins.
Yeah.
And that was that has been a kind of running theme across quite a few teams with these double weekends, that they will rest players for the more important games. And some teams prioritise the men's and women's leagues.
I would say from my outsider knowledge that men's and women's tends to be prioritised more than mixed in the British dodgeball setup. That's not to say that they don't take it seriously or they don't care about it, more to just the fact that traditionally there hasn't been a mixed league other than in the last few years. So to develop that is obviously very important and a key part of the game, and it's honestly my favourite. Personally, I love mixed, but yeah, sometimes you've got to make those tough decisions. Do we want to prioritise men's? Do we want to prioritise women's? You know, who are our best players? Do we want them really to play everything? Do we want to rest them for something? And it could be the reason that Spartans are looking so strong today. I mean, they've got Phantoms, and later they've also got to play against Meteors as well. So these are, from my understanding, two of their key opponents for the title this season. So
yeah, historically you've had Spartans and Meteors, the past few years at least, have been the top two, and then outside of them, Storm and Bees have been knocking on that kind of Storm, Bees and Rangers, have been knocking on that door. And then Derby, as they've come up from League One a couple of years ago, have just been slowly, incrementally making their way up. And I think the top six, kind of 8 teams, can all take each other on as much as they can in Super League.
There's a bit of a cut-off, right? There's a bit of a two-sided table.
Yeah, there is sometimes. And it just depends on the teams that they've put in. And the Spartans team here is slightly different to what we've seen in the past. You can see that, no David Paul, no Mark Allen.
Yeah, if you were playing, it would probably be a lower.
I wouldn't talk about me.
I'm jesting.
But that's kind of what we see. And on the comment of mixed, it's just because, as you've said, mixed was a newer league. So I think the more established leagues have that bit more of prestigious account behind them. And I think in Austria, mixed was the first league.
I would say that generally mixed is prioritised slightly in Austria.
For anyone that doesn't know, Dan is visiting family at the moment for the holidays, lives in Vienna.
Yeah, got tired of the Viennese snow, so I decided to come over some good old British snow.
Yeah, some great weather today, and it's been tough for some teams to field all of their players due to the travel.
Do you know about any players who had to drop out?
I'm fairly certain Leeds struggled because
that's quite a journey.
Their mixed team stayed down because they played league yesterday. They played mixed, obviously yes, mixed team, and they stayed down, and that's why some of their men's players haven't been able to make it. Anyway, back to the game at hand.
John T. Bird lost his grip, ball fell over. And he's out, and now it is 5 against 5. Phantoms, Spartans, 4 balls for Phantoms, and they take full advantage, throwing high on Woodgate and taking him out.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, Phantoms look like they've got a bit of spark of life in them.
Yeah, the half are really doing well for Phantoms. Some excellent dodges there across the board, other than Josh Keys, who does take his out. We're seeing Ben Paddock being out often, the first player on that Phantoms team, potentially targeting.
Yeah, I mean, he is a player who just goes a bit aggressive there.
So Dom Smith hit out there on the attack. Blocked there by Robbie Winters on the 2-ball attack. So 1 player deficit for Spartans. Unfortunate that Smith didn't manage to make a hit. That 1-for-1 trade would have been so impactful, leaving a 4v2. But instead it's a 4v3.
I thought they might be releasing 2 here.
Winters goes high here. So this is kind of the style that we often see from Phantoms, that when they're up in players and they do have the player advantage, they do play that kind of defensive, safe, waiting for the other team to make the mistake, like giving away the 4th ball as Oviden's there. He's seen an opportunistic shot, not managed to convert it. And then they punish the team with the 4 balls.
Yeah.
So they have released 3 there on Neil. Reed with the punish. And the catch there by Winters after Reed did try to do the push pass against Harrison, wasn't counted.
Yeah, a bit after when he was hit. Good call from the ref there.
But a great catch by Winters, who sets himself early. Ovenden with the pre-throw, he sends another one, blocked there by Winters. Bell and Winters, he manages to get the ball. He's going forwards with the one. Hit there onto Bell.
Wow.
And the whistle goes.
That was incredible. Take a bow, Tom Ovenden.
Well done from Ovenden there. That is a huge set. Phantoms doing almost everything right in that set. But a moment of individual brilliance, hitting out Paddock on the pre-throw, surviving the two-ball attack, and then getting forwards and making the hit above the block of Bell just as the set dies.
It wasn't just any hit, it was a lovely face shot there.
Yeah, Bell goes low, goes above his block. Ovenden with the block there, onto Holmes. An excellent piece of play. And sometimes when two teams are so good, it just comes down to individual brilliance. Block there by Whitelaw from Bell.
Oh, that's headshot number 2.
Yeah, Smith has gone low, tried to dodge low, and just hit on the noggin by Harrison on that single. Great post throw by Whitelaw, hitting under the block of Reed. Spartans forward with 3. Oh, skimming shot. And Whitelaw another one.
Paddock's just trying to go a bit too aggressive. He doesn't have the mobility to be pressing up that high. He's a very good player, don't get me wrong.
Paddock's an excellent player. I have a feeling that as that trade goes through and Spartans wins the set, that the scoreline is now oppressive onto the Phantoms side. Yeah. They need to play aggressive to even think about winning the game at the moment. That is a 10-point deficit they're on.
I want to say that the scoreline doesn't reflect the game, but it's kind of difficult not to say that. Not because Phantoms have been bad or that the game has been so one-sided, but more just how consistent Spartans have been. I think there's been 2 patches, maybe 3, in 2 or 3 sets where they've made a few mistakes and that's it.
Yeah, so a very chaotic opening rush. A lot of releases, no hits. Doxy comes forward, makes the hit onto Reed. The ball ricochets up, Holmes takes it, and then a 1-for-1 from Ovenden onto Holmes. But then the 3-ball attack onto Bell. You can see Harrison in the middle there wanted Bird to go quicker and to keep the tempo up onto Phantoms. So yeah, 1-for-1 there. Scotty makes the block, fakes, the ball ricochets up. Winters makes the catch.
That's very unlucky there.
Excellent there by Winters. Good heads-up play. 3-2 now in favour of Phantoms. Block there from Reed, sorry.
Okay, I definitely thought that was a hit, but apparently not.
And a catch there by Keys. So Harrison thinking he was out, so he walked off court. It's called a line. The refs have come in. So the 2-ball onto Holmes, blocks them both.
Yeah.
But then comes back.
It was a really good block.
Comes back. Keys makes the catch.
Yeah, so what is the decision here from the referees then?
So the refs have come to a decision. Captains are in, chatting to Clark, or Rob Clark, sorry, one of our centre refs. They're continuing the discussion. as they call the refs back in.
It's important to have these discussions so that we can make sure that everyone is clear on what's going on and that we get the right decision made.
Absolutely agreed. I think, especially in a league that can be so close, every point does matter, and all the teams will be feeling that.
Does not look like an easy game to ref.
No. So, decision has been made. 2v1, Harrison's still out. Block called there.
Oh, very,
Doherty
very
out
close.
on the pre-throw.
Doherty's not happy.
Josh Keys against Owen Reed.
Oh, Keys
Ball goes
has a
high.
much easier job than Reed, doesn't he? Stay alive, don't get hit.
Yeah, it does a 1-for-1 here, or sorry, not a 1-for-1, but surviving here for Josh is the draw here is more beneficial for Spartans than it is
Absolutely.
for
That's
Phantoms.
because they're winning, so
Makes the block. The ball comes back onto the side of Phantoms.
I want to see someone go for a catch.
A lot of respect by the two players here. Owen Reed just putting it short of Josh Keys. And Ty of Josh Keys, yeah, goes for the catch. I think Keys, slightly privy to thinking that would be the case. You can kind of tell what somebody wants to do when you know where they're throwing. And the throws haven't been as close to Josh or Keys as other throws. And they take the draw there. Reed playing a very slow game there. So the score is now, score would be 16-4. And Spartans have called a timeout here. So I'm not sure Phantoms know if there's a timeout. There doesn't seem to be having any discussion. They're just kind of lined up.
So what do you think they're going to be saying in the...
So Spartans obviously in control here will be looking at getting every point possible from this game. The win is, I guess, in the bag. We don't know how long is left. But
I mean, yeah, they've got... You can see it in two ways. It looks pretty sure that they've got the win now.
Yep.
I mean, Phantoms, of course, are going to try and fight it back as best they can. But on the one hand, they've got a Meteors game later, so resting some players, some key arms. Scotty Whitelaw is probably not a bad player to give a rest. Reese Woodgate, another one. On the other hand, like you're saying, set difference, it matters, especially at the end of the season, especially in a league which can be so close and there's so many potential contenders.
yeah, and on the flip side, if they are looking forward to that next game, which is very important, they are looking forward to that next game. Potentially they want to take this time to iron out some tactics, try their best to kind of go into the next game on as much as a high as possible.
Very aggressive from Holmes there.
So looking across to the other game, the Meteors Nighthawks game. Great catch there by Paddock onto the post throw of Woodgate. 6 on 4. We'll see what Phantoms do now that they have a good numbers advantage.
Oh.
And they lose 2 players very quickly. They lose 3 players very quickly.
Harrison getting a warning from the middle ref there. He's not happy about something.
So what I would have said is that Holmes stood his ground and then made a forwards movement. Whether or not he stood his ground and just stood his ground, which you're allowed to do, but any movement that would...
Oh!
No catch called.
I thought it looked like a catch from where I was, but it is very, very difficult to see that one, and we are not as close as the refs.
The centre ref called no catch instantly. I believe the Meteor Spartans game is on the commentary court.
Lovely shot.
It will be on
from
court 1.
Leamington.
As the set ends, yeah, a rapid few hits there from Spartans. I think one thing that we can see from this game is that Spartans are playing at an aggression level that is slightly higher than Phantoms can really deal with.
They look far too comfortable. That what you were talking about earlier, Phantoms waiting, standing their ground. What I'm seeing from that here is a complete deficit in pressure, a complete control of the neutral zone by Spartans, and it's only this season that they've extended the neutral zone to be the same as European rules, right?
Yeah, so if you didn't know, the British dodgeball neutral zone, I want to say was a metre shorter?
Something like that,
Half a metre shorter on either side. So by adding half a metre, overall it's a metre increase, and there's been no change in backline. So this is aligned with the EDF, the European Dodgeball Federation rules, which means that throwing distance is slightly shorter at the top level of the game.
One thing I've noticed that really bothers me a lot, and I'm interested to see your opinion, but also Neely's here. They've gone for the middle rush. Neely hasn't won it, but he's got a ball in his hand. There's 2 balls, and now he's holding it in the middle. And by holding it in the middle and not getting it out to your winger, really all you're doing is blocking without putting pressure on. It makes it so much easier for a fast attack. And I've noticed a lot of teams doing that, and personally I think it's not smart.
So I would say that the issue you have there is the longer the ball has to be passed, the more risk, right? I would say.
Yeah, absolutely, which is
So-
why you get out straight away.
Great catch by Ryan Neal.
Yeah, that was lovely.
But for me, it's Neely's in that position where he's receiving. The ball pops back to him, and
No,
then he's
he retrieved the ball.
receiving.
Yeah, no, he ran.
Oh.
He ran. So when he's run, he's held onto the ball, and it's in the middle. And if you've got it held in the middle, not on the wing, then you do not have that pressure from one side, and really all you can do is block without putting the pressure back. But what we were talking about before that, about the neutral zone, I'm wondering whether Phantoms will need to adapt their play style somewhat with the larger neutral zone now.
Potentially, you do have a lot of players that are used to the extended neutral zone here in both teams. So
A lot more in Spartans, though, no?
a bit of both, really. So looking at the Phantom team, players that have been in and around the England setup, you have Simon Tappin, Robbie Winters, Ryan Ellis, Ben Paddock, Owen Reed, Tom Bell, Dom Smith. They've all been kind of in and around those England developments.
But only Tom Bell has really played at like an international tournament for them.
But they've all been training and they've all been part of that, so they do have that comfortability. And then on the flip side, for Spartans, you have Josh Keys, Dan Doherty, John T. Bell as well, being part of that England seniors. Reece Woodgate, who was part of England previously, before his hiatus. Ryan Neal and Scotty Whitelaw playing for Scotland. But outside of them, kind of everyone on this court has been in and around an England setup, because outside of Dom Holmes and Tom Ovenden are also part of the England foam setup. So whilst it's slightly different, everyone here has kind of pro-national experience.
I see what you mean, but when we take it back away from the individual player into the team play style, it's specifically Phantoms, what we were talking about, let them play at you, look for chinks in the armour. Great strategy, it can work really well, and I'm sure they did. From what I hear, they were phenomenal at it last season. But playing that play style when now they're a metre or whatever closer to you, it makes pressure that bit more important. And what we've seen in this game has been not enough pressure on their side, and it continues throughout. It's still the case as we're watching now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. It's kind of that balancing act, because too much pressure, and with that increased throwing distance, the stronger throwers, like your Scotty Whitelaws, benefit hugely.
Absolutely.
As we saw
especially the agile ones.
In a couple of sets ago, we saw players getting hit through the block a lot. Great catch there by Doherty.
And then
As he gives away a catch himself. No hit there onto Holmes.
And we've gone from let's play dodgeball to let's just throw as much as we can.
Yeah, a lot of chaos there. But Phantoms coming out on top, scoring another set for them.
Well, it's good to see they're having fun. You know, both teams are having fun, and that's why we're here at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, I think after Phantoms got through the rut that they were probably in from knowing that the game was away from them, and it does suck as a player when you know the game is gone, but then you kind of realise that what's the point of playing the game if I'm not going to enjoy it? So it looks like they're now enjoying themselves. Both teams seem to, every out is taken with a smile. Everything seems to be played in good.
Honesty as well. You were saying that earlier, that both teams here are very honest teams, which is very important.
I think there has been a couple of moments where it's been debatable, but
I think I've seen a lot of honesty in this
The referees have made short work of kind of those tetchy and tough moments.
And it happens in sport. They always do.
That's why we have refs. So great hit there by Tom Bell onto Doherty. The Spartans come forward with 3 balls.
Player of the match. You could go for who you think has been the best, but also just your favourite to watch. Whichever you like. Give a prologue.
I think my player of the match is going to be Scotty Whitelaw, purely because he has made some absolutely excellent hits, as just shown as he made the hit on Ben Paddock. He was a real thorn in Phantom's side, and from the Phantom side, I think Dom Holmes has had an excellent game. I think he's consistently been on the end of loads of beneficial plays.
I'm very surprised he wasn't starting, as the moment he came on, he was extremely impactful.
So he shares that wing with Tom Bell. I think they're both excellent players.
I mean, Tom Bell, the Italians know his talent.
Exactly.
So do the Austrians.
And it's just one of those things where you just see what happens. So they made their decision. I think Dom Holmes made an excellent impact when he was on court. Survivability was really good. He was making a lot of excellent hits. But for me, Scotty Whitelaw, I think, was super impactful in that game. Loads of individual moments from other players as well. But consistently hitting, high hit rate, survivability was great.
Who was your player of the match, Dan? Oh, well, thanks for asking, Wilkie. I loved watching Tom Ovenden. Not necessarily, I would agree. Scotty Whitelaw, player of the match, most impactful, the difference maker. I played against him. I had the pleasure of getting to play against him at the Euros back in Osijek, and playing opposite him.
Tom Ovenden?
No,
Scotty.
Whitelaw.
Okay, sorry.
And he's phenomenal. Absolutely incredible player. Loved every second playing opposite him. You know when you play against a player you know's better than you, and you're like, I'm getting hammered. This is brilliant.
Reminds me of our Astros game at UDO.
You had to bring that up. The thing is, it doesn't even apply there, and you are fully aware of that. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Scotty Whitelaw, incredible player, lovely to watch, MVP for us, and just for the enjoyment that he brought, Tom Ovenden, really.
Yeah, and an honourable mention, as we said, to Dom Holmes as well. So we're going to take a slight break now. We've got Storm versus Sheriffs up for you now. We'll take a slight break and we'll be joining you at the beginning of that match.
Don't go anywhere. Game's starting very soon. Thank you, John Wilkie. I had a phenomenal time.
Well, thank you for being here, Dan.
I've enjoyed it very much. I will be leaving now. But yeah, it was a pleasure to be at British Dodgeball, and I hope everyone who's watching this will also watch the Austrian League, and yeah, we'll continue watching the British League and growing the sport and having fun. And thank you. Anyway, bye.
Bye.